Michelle, so you were doing a little bit of research, a little bit of light reading today, and you found a little gem. Do you want to start out with that?
Well, yeah, I do want to start out with that.
Or do you want to start out with the pumpkins?
But I also want to tell people why we're out in the pumpkins.
So the other day, you guys caught us when we were covering the Manhattan Truck of Peace that hit the crowd of people, and we were on our way to get pumpkins from our local pumpkin farm because oh my gosh, that's the best shot ever. Our swineherd
Kind of, you can kind of go around. There's two piles.
There's another pile that's even further back, back that way. Yeah, it's a lot of pumpkins. And so you guys were asking about them. So now you get to see them. Now you have seen them. You have seen our pumpkins.
I don't know how many truckloads.
Well,
8.
each time we went, it was 2 trucks, and we went
8.
4 times. Yeah,
8.
so 8 truckloads. No, about the protests. From what I can understand, they're kind of a big
Floppy.
dud. So
somebody took out a really expensive ad for nothing, but no, I think there's
there's stuff
definitely
coming,
an agenda behind this.
we'll see. But literally, when this whole thing came out, I thought, you know what? I wouldn't put it past them to hype this up so they get the people like us, Alex Jones, you name it, to be all like, oh, something's coming, and then something doesn't come too.
The idea
you know
is
what I mean?
to get us to do something. This is not about trying to get Antifa out in the streets or anything like that.
My mom has always said that if an abuser can get you to react, then they are controlling you.
Yeah.
Which is, we're just sitting around waiting to see if they have a big to do. But so far, we don't have anything to bring you on that front.
I was telling Mom, it's just like Charlottesville was totally staged.
Right.
All those quote unquote white supremacist dudes, they put it out there. Somebody, George Soros Incorporated,
right,
used that guy who was formerly an Obama guy, and to set it up and to try to draw out the worst of the worst, right?
We're being watched.
Oh, Mr.
I
Rooster.
always feel like
Hello,
he always
Rooster.
comes to check out. Like, he really does protect his flock.
What's going on?
What are you doing?
I need to know what's going on.
He's very suspicious.
So yeah, this Charlottesville was totally planned to get reactions. They were really trying to get us to unite the right, but they wanted to connect right.
That's his, protest.
Right-leaning people. They wanted them to intermingle with these idiots and then blame them on things like a car accident. Because now, every time there's a Muslim terror attack, you're going to hear, but what about Charlottesville and the guy who ran the girl over?
Right.
It's
exactly.
like, seriously? But anyways.
Sorry, there's Jasper. You don't get to see
the biggest news of today.
all of our crew very often, but
and
there she
Sydney.
is. I think she's actually hurling. There's Sydney.
She ate some grass, it looks
I think
like.
she ate some grass.
Okay, so the biggest news of today is
I don't know if they can read that or not.
some JFK files were dropped again, which were marked with an X in 1994.
To never be revealed ever.
And I was on Twitter today, and the reason I want to rush to bring this to you is because there's a really weird narrative. Like, I read this, and immediately I'm like, this was an FBI smear campaign. My first thought was, oh my gosh, the FBI totally killed Martin Luther King. I mean, like, they're totally like, if you put this together, I mean, this is like conspiracy theory, like fodder, like super, like dinner. I mean, like, this is the buffet of conspiracy theory information here. In this archive, I started to read, and you can just tell when salacious materials put out falsely. Okay, so we, with thinking brains, know that the whole P-Gate dossier thing on Trump,
right?
But I wouldn't put it past somebody like Clinton to do that stuff, because that's what their little Satan minds do.
Exactly.
Somebody had to come up with it,
Right.
So when you read through, they first started to smear Martin Luther King Jr. The FBI under J. Edgar Hoover was racist,
Yes.
white supremacist,
Yes.
KKK.
Yes.
And why would they put out this surveillance around Martin Luther King Jr. in such a way in the 60s unless they actually just, hated the civil rights movement? Because at that time, that civil rights movement was good, okay?
It was peaceful.
That,
For the most part.
they walked through the streets with suits and ties peacefully.
Right.
Bill Burnett, he walked with Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
He knew the guys. He
also knows that Jesse Jackson was not there.
They call him Judas. They call him a Judas.
He says that he was there, but he wasn't.
The Twitter narrative is so weird. All these black people and like these social justice warriors are like, oh, now we see why Trump wanted to drop the files. He just wanted to smear Martin Luther King because they're just below the intelligent mark to be able to read, to not see that the FBI would lie.
They believe it.
They hate the cops and think the cops are crooked. But if it's in an FBI file that the FBI wrote down, it must be the truth.
Yeah.
So there's this 20-page document that was released and alleges the financial improprieties of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the African American civil rights organization founded by King. The document also contains insinuations and assertions. This isn't proof. There's no proof. These are insinuations. I guess in the Martin Luther King Jr. Movie Selma, they dropped insinuations of him having affairs and love children. And here's the thing. Bill Clinton has a love child. He did these things. So what evil people do is they do these crazy things.
And then they accuse somebody else of doing. The good people
they're
of
like,
doing them.
I got this great idea. How about we accuse that guy of what we're doing so nobody finds that we're doing it, right? Okay, so...
there's a reason why in court a lawyer who knows that something's going to have to be quote unquote stricken from the record will go ahead and say it anyway.
Bingo.
Because it gets into the mind of the people, and then the judge says, you must forget what you just heard, or whatever the official thing is that they say, because it gets into the mind, and that's why they do this. They have to smear MLK.
Right. So there's a document section titled King's Personal Conduct. And the document repeatedly referred to some of the alleged sex acts King engaged in as unnatural.
I was messaging Horatio, and I sent this to him, and he's like, so can somebody explain to me just what they meant by unnatural? Can they be a little bit more specific?
I told this to Mom. So they're actually just talking about homosexual acts. Everything that the transgenders and they're pushing on, all the young people today.
So now the FBI at that time was homophobic, too. They were racist and homophobic.
Actually, they were... it's a double agent, right? So they're actually really homosexuals, right? Who do these unnatural, crazy acts. No offense, we have homosexuals, but there's some crazy acts that happen. Hamsters, anybody? So there's crazy, unnatural acts. They know that there's crazy, unnatural acts that go on. They do them, and then they go and write about it, and they smear Martin Luther King with it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hamsters came in. I don't get it. I don't need to. I'm good.
One Negro minister in attendance, this is a quote from the document, later expressed his disgust with the behind... See, I love how they're like, one black guy who was in attendance told us this. Mm-hmm. It's in the FBI file, but it's... You guys, this is a smear campaign. This is like the leaks that keep going to the Washington Post and everything. Later expressed his disgust with the behind-the-scene drinking fornication.
Yeah.
Homosexuality that went on at the conference. Several Negro and white prostitutes were brought in for an all-night sex orgy. Was held with these prostitutes and some delegates in attendance. One room had a large table in it which was filled with whiskey, and two Negro prostitutes were paid $50 to put on a show for the entertainment for the guests. And a variety of sex acts deviating from the normal were observed.
I'm sorry. This is so ridiculous.
This is in the FBI documents.
Right.
Deviating from the normal. Which is absolutely hilarious.
They would lose their mind with what goes on in today's day.
So, as early as January 1968, King engaged in another 2-day drunken sex orgy in Washington, D.C. Many of those present engaged in sexual acts, natural as well as unnatural.
Again, we don't. This is not like confirmed.
Of onlookers. When one of the females shied away from engaging in a natural act, King and other males present discussed how she was to be taught and initiated with respect to going on and on. So what they're telling you guys,
I'm sorry.
This is a KKK white supremacist smear campaign against a civil rights leader.
And why the people like you were talking about on Twitter can't exactly see this, it's sad.
So there was an FBI informant who said that King had a frequent affair with a woman, leading to a baby girl being born. There were a lot of people who were Judases in this movement.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot of people who wanted to work with the slave masters. Mm-hmm. Okay. Another stupid thing It was learned in February 1968 from a very responsible Los Angeles individual in a position to know.
What is that? A very responsible Los Angeles person in a position to know. That's very specific.
The king had a love affair with the wife of a prominent Negro dentist in Los Angeles. Since 1962, he believes King fathered a baby girl born to this woman, even though she was married. So how does that even happen, right?
And how do you prove it? So
well, it says this woman, in as much as her husband is allegedly sterile. The child resembles King to a great degree. Mm-hmm. And King supports this child. So, anyways, it just goes on and on and on. A bunch of group this. I believe it's a smear campaign. But what I want to get to is that blew everything out of the water for me. In 1964, a package containing tapes and a letter to King was delivered to his house and opened by his wife, Coretta Scott King. The letter appeared to urge King to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. It included the line, "There is only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is. You have just 34 days. A Senate committee later confirmed the anonymous package had been sent
by the FBI. Now, I understand that when they said, you only have one thing left, you know what it is, that could be interpreted to many other things. I don't know what they are, but it could mean anything. However, when I was talking to Leah about this, I said, okay, so what were they going to do after those 34 days were up of whatever it was that he was supposed to do if it wasn't suicide?
They were going to kill him. The FBI killed Martin Luther King Jr. Mm-hmm. The FBI killed MLK. They killed him. And it probably might not be everyone. This is deep state. So you have some people on one side, you have some people on the other side. But obviously, when you put two and two together, this giant smear campaign of these sex orgies, seriously, in the FBI documents, if this was really real, it would have come out. They would have leaked it to the press. The press would have just destroyed Martin Luther King with it.
So you're saying that this document wasn't slated as to never be opened again to protect the fact that MLK was like some sort of like orgy homosexual drunk?
No!
That's not why they said these can never come out?
No, this was labeled, and there's you can see it. It's labeled as it can never come out.
It can never come out because it reveals that the FBI killed MLK.
It reveals that they definitely wanted him dead. They wanted him out. To me,
it's really ironic and weird that Zero Hedge didn't put that in the headline.
So you can see an example of where they would exit out, where you can't.
No, it's a little bit blurry.
But you can. Glary. The Zero Hedge article, it's up there right now. It's on their front page, it's they X out a lot where you can't have they don't want you to see any of it. So this is what the CIA didn't want out because, and everybody knows, it wasn't because it was going to paint anybody in a bad light except for our own government.
Right.
And so another example of deep state, I want to bring you guys, I get our local Cincinnati Enquirer, and my mom's like, you read that trash? You believe anything in there? And I was like,
no, but you need to know what the enemy's putting out.
Opposition research.
Yeah.
Madre. And so every article in this Enquirer is totally
left-wing. It used to be a right-leaning.
It used to be a right-leaning newspaper. And then it was bought out. My grandma will be rolling in her grave, really. Because we are, I mean, this is Ohio, this Claremont County, everything around here, everything except downtown Cincinnati is, and I think only a couple counties went for Hillary Clinton, and one of them was Hamilton County. Unfortunately, because that's where a large proportion of Negroes live, and they vote Democrat because they're told to, and we try to bring the truth out and say, listen, they're the party of the KKK. They don't like you.
Right.
We like you. We love you. We care about you. Come be our friend. Come vote for Republicans or conservatives or libertarians, and don't vote for the KKK anymore. They want you on the plantation. So anyways, I was looking through this newspaper, and actually this article on the left stuck out to me first because yesterday it was come out that Jason Aldean's lawyer died at 66 mysteriously as a senior in his sleep. Jason Aldean was the musician playing at the time of the Las Vegas massacre. Now, you guys have been sending me this story, and we just haven't covered it. And this is actually from, and this is disturbing to me, that it's this tiny little thing from a story from October 16th. And they're just now putting in, this is a paper from Saturday. So today, this morning, today, right now. Couple who survived Las Vegas mass shooting die in car crash.
You're joking.
Dennis and Laura Carver were among thousands of people who found themselves caught in the middle of chaos after gunfire erupted at the Route 91 Harvest Festival on October 1st. The California couple survived the mass shooting unleashed by a lone gunman from high atop blah, blah, blah. Thank you to everyone that has reached out to me. My parents were both at the Route 91 Music Festival tonight and were standing directly where the shots are being fired. Their daughter, Brooke Carver, wrote on Facebook the next day, a poor man right next to my dad was shot in the leg. That's how close they were. Laura Carver herself wrote on Facebook a few days later that her husband, Dennis, had shielded her during the shooting.
Wow.
But their story of survival took a tragic turn just a few weeks later. The couple was killed in a fiery car crash near their home on October 16th in Marietta, California, according to multiple news accounts out of California. The Los Angeles Times reported the car had veered from a highway, striking two brick pillars. Earlier this week, Brooke and sister Madison started a GoFundMe.
So it was a fiery car crash, ensuring that maybe they would die regardless. It sounds, wow, that's incredible.
This is not normal. Okay, so right next to this not normal one, I think they put the two not normal ones together. I read over this and I didn't think much of it. I understand, my brain didn't catch the headline. The headline wasn't catchy on purpose, okay? So, but I reread it.
This is about Donna Brazile and what she came out with.
No. I wanted them to hear it and see if they could figure it out. Okay.
I just gave the punchline.
No, it's okay. Trump is calling for a probe of Clinton based on book item. So if you wanted a headline that no one would ever read, you would say, Trump calling for a probe of Clinton based on book item. If you wanted to sell papers, if you needed to sell papers, which they don't because all these newspapers are funded by George Soros now, they get their funding from on high. They've had to newspapers.
Not on high.
Right. Newspapers were going down the tube, and our newspaper has put out calls because they were losing money, and they were losing money, and they were losing money.
Oh, they call us all the time.
They've had to change. Well, no, what I mean, they had to put out calls to get new subscribers.
That's what I'm saying.
They changed their newspaper completely to save money.
We narrowed down to we only get 3 days a week, and we were getting 7, and so they keep calling us.
We now get this USA version. We get very little stories.
It's completely pared down. It has very little local stories at all. It's
not a newspaper anymore. It's just how Barack Obama and the Open Society and all these people, they have to disseminate their information to people. It's not as easy with the local news, like on your ABC, NBC, because they do have to cover the local news and can't really spin it as well as a newspaper can.
So, Leah, how would you have titled it?
I would have said on the front page, Donna Brazile, former, Democratic DNC committee chairman, says Clinton rigged election. Or I would have put Clinton rigged election, says Donna Brazile. Or Clinton rigged election, says former DNC chairman. But I would not have said book item. Book item. Book item. Book item. What is that? I have never heard that before. No one ever says that. When there's a quote in a book, no one has ever said in the history of saying things. Book item. I say book 'em. Take your book item and book 'em, Dano.
Oh my gosh.
Book 'em.
Yeah.
I'll read that one more time.
I live with this every day.
Trump is calling for a probe of Clinton based on book item. That is like a really bad translation from another language. And people in America are like, that's not what that said.
Oh my gosh.
Book item. So at the very end, you see an excerpt from Brazile's book was published in Politico. In it, she says that before Clinton became the 2016 nominee, her campaign signed a joint fundraising agreement with the DNC in which it would finance the DNC in exchange for oversight from the Clinton campaign. DNC communications director Hinojosa whatever said in a statement that there were fundraising agreements with both campaigns. So
there you go.
And then, just to show you just how biased this kind of newspaper is, so I kind of was flipping through the pages, and they put, they put 2 in their own hokey movies. You notice that the Donna Brazil thing got like a quarter of a page. These movies get a half a page each.
Wow.
The Bad Moms Christmas gets a half a page. The Delightful Ladybird. I decided, you know what? Why are you reviewing this? This is a wonderful film for everyone to go see. And I quote, "This girl is tired with her life in California. She wants to move to New York, and her friend says, aren't you worried about terrorism in New York?" And she responds, "Don't be Republican." So this fantastical movie is filled with orgies and sex and teen drama and disgustingness, and they want you to go see it, probably because it's another Democrat led fiasco. And while we're on it, this Bad Moms Christmas is being promoted all over Twitter. The advertisement played. You know how they just do. It just played, and so I did watch it, and it is disgusting. These girls. I think I told you about it. They're disgusting, and I'm tired. I don't want to see you twerking with Santa. That's not funny. That's not funny in any world. In any reality, it's funny to the people in Hollywood because
they're childish.
They're people
sick, they're twisted,
that work with the FBI to come up with P-Gate dossiers and Martin Luther King's all-night sex orgies, because that's what they do.
It's all fantasy, except for it's kind of real for them.
It's real to them. They do these things. That's why you've got Bernie Sanders and his stupid little thing that he wrote 30 years ago, and he tried to explain it away as saying, "Oh, it was just a fiction like 50 Shades of Grey." Have you read 50 Shades of Grey? I haven't, but I've read about it. It's not a thing. I mean, these aren't things. These unnatural things that they're talking about for poor Martin Luther King. It's what they do. It's what Bill Clinton does. It's what Harvey Weinstein does. We talked about this before. They don't even want to have... What they're saying is that they weren't actually really having sex. They were doing all kinds of crazy things, which is exactly what Harvey Weinstein and Roman Polanski and Woody Allen do. And all these people accused of doing sexual acts, they're not even really... They're unnatural. Finally, somebody's saying it. You guys aren't normal.
There you go. So, for those of you that joined us a little bit late, the punchline
here... This is like Nike. If you're going to do it, just do it.
You heard it here first, folks. Leah says...
Just don't...
Just do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole Weinstein thing, it just boggles my mind.
All right. Can we bring it back in?
I'm here. I'm
the
really close to you right now.
Yes, you are. The punchline is... that the FBI sent a package to Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King opened it up, and it told him, you know what you have to do. You have 34 days to do it. And to me, it's unequivocal. Or not unequivocal.
Confirmed that was from the FBI.
Right.
Confirmed.
But to me, it goes without saying that they were talking about suicide. And if they weren't, what were they going to do after those 34 days? So that is the big punchline that should be everywhere.
Why
Even if it is just
the
the question, what did they mean? Why isn't this thing just huge?
Why isn't that? Yeah, we want the next paper. What were you telling him to do? What was it that he needed to know to do? Was it commit suicide? Was it do something else?
Right.
Why was the FBI cornering Martin Luther King, and why was he killed and shot? We do know that we were trailing him. They created all of this craziness around him. And so, in my opinion, they were urging him to commit suicide, or they were going to take him out themselves.
Exactly.
And because it would be messier for them.
Right.
You know.
So, Horatio had said a bit earlier when we were talking about this the first time that you had said that the social justice warriors and stuff like that on Twitter were saying, Trump revealed this to smear MLK. And Horatio was like, well, actually, I think that Trump did this to smear the FBI. He's the ultimate game player.
That's what I see. I see the FBI as trying to kill and killing Martin Luther King. That was the first thing I saw. So these stupid social justice warriors, I'm sorry, ignorant. They're not stupid. They are ignorant. They literally would rather us not see that paper because they're like, but no, his name is smeared. I saw people saying nothing sacred. Martin Luther King Jr. was this crazy. I'm like, do you
Why
believe
did you just all of a
read?
sudden believe it? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So
It's funny.
there you go. Yeah, the moderators are on top of it today, which is funny though that we have trolls for this video. Must be a good one.
All right, so we have to go help a friend move wood this afternoon. So we
Take
probably
down
won't be
some trees.
coming for you the rest of the evening. Yep.
They had wanted to see the frizzle, the chicken, the baby chick.
There's.
But
more.
maybe do you want to go do it now or just another time?
You can walk them over. I mean, then she's over there with her little baby chick. She's not little anymore.
No, the that was a really close shot of my face.
You want to see the crested Polish?
Yeah, they call her like Rosie O'Donnell. I
Yeah,
think.
you can take
Here,
them.
let me turn the camera around.
Okay,
I
that's a
can
good
do
idea.
that. So then we can see what you're seeing.
Oh, that's a good idea. There, say hi, everybody.
You can
These
say
girls
hi
have
to
be
these
weird.
girls. So here's them eating their pumpkins. These are the babies. They actually need a home.
I haven't tried to.
We haven't been really pushing to sell them because they're so cute and cuddly, and they cuddle with us. And there's happy Jasper. There's pumpkins everywhere. All right, excuse the mess. It's fall. We've planted grass out here in the chicken run, so they're not allowed in there. Yeah, you're not allowed to look at the mess in the chicken run. Let's see. Come here, kiddo. There she is.
I'm so cute.
Oh, let's see if I can get this right. There she is. We do not have hazardous waste. Those are feed barrels, by the way. They look like hazardous waste containers. They're actually usually out and about, but I guess it's kind of nap time. So, here she comes. She's shaking her head. I'm a rock star. Yes, I am. I can't believe she's starting to get black. I thought it was like in her crest. I thought it was gonna stay all white. She's really shaking it for you guys. She's showing off.
Michelle,
Where's Ostro?
right behind you on the left.
She's my good girl. This is Ostro. She's been through a lot.
So good.
And she always comes to see me. Jasper, you're so not supposed to be in here.
Come here, baby. I got you.
All right.
Say hi to everybody. She's had a hard life.
She has had a hard
She's
life.
had 2 sets of chicks, so.
She did
You're
raise out
such
2
a
sets
good
of
girl.
chicks.
Is this Lorperish?
No, it's Ostro.
You're getting heavy.
We have this bird is called an Australorp,
We have
and we have 2 of them that we named Ostro and Lorp. Very, very original of us. Okay, all right, guys, we're gonna sign off here. Now you've had a little farm visit.
The FBI killed Martin Luther King.
So says the JFK files, and that's why they wanted to keep them hidden, and
Well,
that's why
You know,
Trump wanted to bring them out.
they tried to suicide him.
They tried to suicide him. Well, but they literally wanted him to suicide himself. All right, you guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance
They
Chicks.
breed chicken wings and bacon.
Yes, we do.
Book item.
Share these on your social media pages because I think this is one that not a lot of people are going to be talking about, and they need to be talking about.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
needs to get out there. Now, here come the roly-polies getting all grumpy for an extra snack. All right, you guys, God bless. We'll be going live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't
But the
forget
clock's
to...
going back tonight, so.
Yeah, turn back your clocks. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back all the things that hurt you.
And I wouldn't kill MLK.
Ooh, that was a good one!
I'd let the civil rights movement keep going on.
Going on.
And make sure Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton never had a microphone. We'd give real civil rights leaders a platform to go on. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way.
You don't have anything after that one?
I would shoot the FBI agent who shot MLK.
You already rhymed that one, dude.
Come on, but that's the verse. It's
Okay.
called like a chorus.
Okay.
Choruses are the same. They go over
I
and
can
over
go
again.
with it. I can go with
Over
it.
and over again.
All right.
And again and again. And again and again. See you later. Have a
She
great day.
is pooing out too much pumpkin. Oh, dang. I can't even show that. I cannot show it on camera, but I'm
No.
watching a pig have, like, pumpkin diarrhea. And it is awful. Like, it's undigested.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to cut back on the pumpkins. Slow it down a little bit. Farm life, welcome. Oh, you guys, there are so many times that I wish you guys could just actually just see, you know, and be a part of look at Leah's face.
No.
Yeah, because they see us behind some sort of camera all the time, but most of the time we're out just scooping poo and dealing with pumpkin diarrhea. She does need help with that. It's just dangling, man. It's got to come out. Yeah.
She's not. It's. You go fix her.
All right. Okay, so
her tail keeps.
As far as the riots and stuff go, if anything happens, we won't be coming to you until later tonight, probably like 9 or 10. If anything happens.
We might not.
Jasper, you're so not supposed to be in here. This is the baby chick nursery.
Get out of here.
She doesn't touch the big chickens, but sometimes the little ones, they're like toys.
She's a chick killer.
Yeah. All right. So if we come back tonight, it'll be like 9 or 10 or maybe even 11. But we may not. We may just come back tomorrow at 1 Eastern Standard Time. Love you guys. God bless.
It's not just a conspiracy if it's the truth.
Right.